back to my channel. Today I have a gigantic Yankee Candle Halloween and fall haul for you guys. And when I say big, I mean big. I have 10 Yankee candles in front of me that I am going to share my thoughts on. Some are from last year and some are new for this year. Some are repurchases and some are entirely brand new to me. Originally, I wasn't going to purchase any of the Yankee Candle Halloween this year because I was doing a sort of small boycott of the Yankee Candle Halloween because early on in the season we kind of got like a shadow drop of the Yankee Halloween fragrances that were going to be available for this year in 3 wicks. And my favorite Yankee Halloween scent, Jack-o'-lantern, was not part of the collection. So I just assumed that they had discontinued it for this year, and I was so upset about it that I was like, okay, I am not buying any Yankee Halloween at all this year. It's not happening. And then surprise, surprise, the Thursday drop of the Yankee Candle Halloween was online, and their jack-o'-lantern was in the signature line. For whatever reason, they just didn't announce it at all. They just dropped it onto the website, and I was ecstatic. I had to place an order. I did not have a backup of jack-o'-lantern at all from last year. I bought the signature of it when it was first available last year, and it performed really well for me. And so now that they had brought it back, I may or may not have bought 6 of them. And yes, I did say 6. I love that scent, and I was briefly under the impression that it was discontinued, so I just thought, hey, you know what? I might as well just stock up here. All right, so actually scratch what I said in the intro. Apparently I have 11 candles in front of me, and I just forgot to bring one out. So let's get started with the fall side of things before we jump into the Halloween. So up first, I have a Yankee Candle classic fall staple scent, Apple Pumpkin. Now you guys know that I am a huge fan of Bath & Body Works Pumpkin Apple, and I'm basically just a big fan of any company that dabbles in pumpkin apple scents. I think it's an amazing fall combo. Most of the time, if a company is offering up a pumpkin apple scent, I am willing to try it. And this is probably one of the oldest scents out there under the apple pumpkin scent combo guys, and I just have never tried it out before. So this one is a very straightforward, just juicy apple and spiced pumpkin. It's a lot different from the Bath & Body Works version, but I actually really like this one. It's different, but it scratches like the same itch that I love from an apple pumpkin. You get that really bright apple in this one, like opposed to the Bath & Body Works pumpkin apple, which is a lot more spice heavy. You get a lot of the cinnamon and clove in that one. This one is more heavy on that bright apple juice. You also do get a little bit of a cinnamon kick in there as well. I don't actually prefer this one over the Bath & Body Works one, but I actually do really enjoy this. I love when Bath & Body Works pumpkin apple is poured and the apple is a bit stronger. There's some years where the spices are stronger, like this year I've noticed that the clove and cinnamon is really prominent in the pumpkin apple pours, but I prefer when the apple is the dominant note, and the apple is definitely the dominant note. This one definitely smells very classic fall. Like, this definitely smells like a candle my mom would have bought in the early 2000s. You know, it just smells very nostalgic to me. I'm hoping that this will perform well. I've had some luck with the 2-wick signature jars actually producing scent, so I really enjoy it. I can't wait to burn this one. So up next here we have another apple scent, but going in the entire opposite direction. We have crisp Campfire apples. Now, this is one that I actually did try out a couple years ago, and I really liked the scent on cold, but I tried it out in the large single wick jars, and as many of you probably know, it was virtually scentless. I could not smell a single thing out of it, which was such a bummer because this is actually such a nice scent. So yeah, what this smells like to me is like you took like apple pie filling, like those cinnamon spiced apples, and then you toss them over like a grill, like a charcoal grill, and you just kind of like caramelized them. That's exactly what it smells like to me. It just smells like a glazed baked apple with a little bit of like a barbecuiness type note in there. It is a little bit smoky, it's a little bit savory, it's a little bit sweet. This one is definitely right up my alley. This is what I wished the Bath & Body Works apple and charcoal candle smelled like. Unfortunately, that one was just way too much apple, not enough smoke. This one is a perfect balance of that, and it feels very classic fall to me as well. I absolutely love this one. I really am hoping that this performs well because I want to be able to smell this candle while I'm burning it. Definitely one I'm going to save until it is completely cold outside. But yeah, very excited to have this one in the signature format. All right, so for the final apple candle that I got in the fall side of things, we have Ciderhouse. Now, this is one that I have heard so many good things about. I'm not sure if this is like a classic Yankee scent or if it just came out in the past few years or so. I'm not really knowledgeable on Yankee Candle, so maybe you guys can let me know in the comments. But for me personally, this is the one in the fall lineup for Yankee Candle that I have personally heard the most good things about, and I can definitely see why. Yeah, this is such a nice, juicy apple scent. It's not like a bright apple or anything. It definitely smells like it's been like mulled over and like brewing with a nice cinnamon and clove. It's almost got a little bit of like a sourness to it as well, like if they used a little bit of like a Granny Smith apple in there. It's also got like a nice honey-like sweetness to it and a nice vanilla note in here as well. Very drinkable. I wish this was real and I was able to have a nice apple cider right now. I actually am really bummed that Yankee usually has very bad scent performance because they do know how to make a really good fall scent. I'm actually really surprised with how much I am actually enjoying a lot of these scents on cold because Yankee is just not a company that I have tried very many things from, and I haven't had one so far that I absolutely hate. Honestly, I'm actually really loving these. But obviously, I'm going to give this a burn and let you guys know at a later date. But on cold, I am really, really loving this one. All right, so for the final fall fragrance, we have Pumpkin Banana Scone. So this is one that I have tried in previous years in this format. This is a repurchase for me, and I repurchased it because I absolutely love this scent. This is one of those gourmands that I just so absolutely adore. You get a really nice sweet banana in this one, along with that bread note. That bakery bread note in here is what really makes it. I know if you guys watched my What Am I Burning video from like a month ago now, and I reviewed the Kringle Candle Pumpkin Banana Muffin. That one I was really excited about because I really love Pumpkin Banana Scone, and I was hoping that it would be a similar fragrance to that. But that candle was absolutely missing the bakery bread note that I really wanted. And in this one, it is full on bakery bread note. It's in there and it smells delicious. You also get the spices, the cinnamon, the nutmeg. There's also like maybe like a little bit of like a brown sugar type note in this one as well. You don't get a lot of pumpkin in it, but honestly, that's fine. It's more of a just very nice banana bread. And since I've actually purchased this and burned one before, I can tell you guys that this is actually a very nice, strong performer. I remember this actually doing very well in my room. It wasn't strong enough to fill like your entire house, but when you're burning it, you definitely can smell it. If you're a gourmand lover, if you love gourmands in the fall time, if you love pumpkin notes, if you love banana notes, definitely 100% would recommend this one. It's absolutely delicious and it definitely has become a fall staple for me. All right, now getting into the Halloween side of the Yankee Candle haul, I'm gonna talk about the classic Yankee Candle Halloween fragrance first, and that, of course, is Witch's Brew. Now, what else is there to say about Witch's Brew? You guys all probably know what this one smells like. This is a classic Halloween scent. There are billions of people out there that will tell you that this is their favorite Halloween scent, and I can understand why. However, I'm going to express a little bit of a hot take here. I actually don't really care for this one very much. Not that it's bad or anything, it's just not my favorite. I don't really find myself gravitating to burn this one during the Halloween season. And specifically why that is for me is because this is a really, really heavy fragrance to me. The patchouli in this one is so strong. It's the main thing in here. You get that heavy patchouli note in a heavy cinnamon bark as well. I burn this one very sporadically, and I do enjoy it while it's burning, but I usually have to burn this on a very cold night. And usually here in October, there isn't really many very cold nights. And honestly, patchouli is a note in a candle that is really hit or miss for me. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I hate it. So I really have to be in the mood to burn a heavy patchouli candle. And most of the time, I'm usually not. But I do understand understand why people absolutely love this thing. And honestly, maybe I just need to burn it a little bit more to really get a good feel for this one. This is my last year's version of the 2-wick tumbler, and I remember lighting this one up maybe a couple times. It didn't perform the best for me, but after a year of it sitting in my closet, maybe it has become a little stronger. It's definitely strong on cold, that's what I can tell you for sure. But I don't know, I'm gonna give this one a burn this season, and maybe my thoughts will change a little bit. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. Now, speaking of patchouli being a note that is hit or miss for me, let's talk about one where I think it hits every time. And that is Yankee Candle's Black Magic. So yes, I am throwing this one into this haul because I just needed to talk about this on my channel. This is one of my favorite Halloween scents of all time. It is such a gorgeous, mood-setting Halloween candle. Honestly, I have no idea why Yankee doesn't just put this into the signature line. Like, they just forget that this candle exists. They shove it in their Yankee Candle outlets, which, I mean, they continue to pour this for the Yankee outlets, and I have one next to me, so that's not bad. But there are probably people out there that don't have access to this candle, and they should. This is a gorgeous leather, incense, patchouli, and vanilla. Very simple, very straightforward, very to the point. But the simpleness honestly works in its favor. This is another one that's actually kind of a heavy scent, but it's not as heavy as Witch's Brew is to me. Like, Witch's Brew is heavy in the sense that it can give me a headache if I burn it for too long. And this one's definitely heavy in the same way, but this one is not headache inducing to me. The leather in the vanilla incense in here just meld so well. It's so like spellbinding. And I know that's such like a weird descriptor to give to a candle, but this is like such an addicting scent. And the patchouli isn't too strong in this one. I can definitely handle it. So if you hate patchouli in a candle, but you love like leather and you love vanilla, then definitely try to seek this one out. If you have a Yankee Candle outlet next to you, definitely try to give this one a sniff. And this is actually one of the few single wick large jar Yankee candles that actually performs decently well. I mean, this thing isn't filling your whole house up. It's just not going to with this one wick in here. But at least for me, when I burn this in my room with a lampshade on it, it actually fills up my whole room and I can smell it. So yeah, I would highly, highly recommend this one. If you're looking for a more smooth, elegant, sensual type Halloween fragrance, then I would say definitely try to seek this one out. All right, so up next here, I have a very weird one. We have Haunted Hayride. This is one I am very surprised comes back every single year. Every time I look at the Yankee Candle website, this one always has the best seller sticker on there, and I, for the life of me, cannot imagine why this is a bestseller. This is such a weird candle. Obviously, I burned this down to the halfway point. This is mine from last year, but this is such a funky fragrance. You get a weird combination of like hay and black pepper and like a heavy charcoal. Like, this definitely smells like you're having a barbecue on a farm. And with that being said, I actually really enjoy this one. But the reason that I'm surprised that it's always under the bestseller and it comes back every year is because this does not smell like a typical fragrance that your average person would like or repurchase. When I first smelled this in stores a couple years ago, I absolutely hated it. Like, I can vividly remember the first time I smelled this candle, I actually was like revolted by what I was smelling. But at last year's Yankee Candle Halloween party launch, I smelled it again and I was like, ooh, that's actually kind of nice. It's kind of weird. It's got this like savory like funk to it that's kind of addicting. And obviously you can see I have burned it to the halfway point here, and this performs decently well. It's not overbearingly strong, but it's not scentless either. This also pairs really well with Tomato Scarecrow from South of Sanity, so if you have both of these, you should give that a try. So yeah, if you're looking for a strange, different type of funky Halloween scent with like hay and black pepper, then maybe give this one a sniff. I'm not gonna recommend that you buy this one online blindly unless you're like really that interested. I would say go head to a store and like actually smell this one and see if you like it first. But yeah, that is Haunted Hayride. All right, so up next we have Mystic Moon. So this is also kind of a strange one. I don't love this fragrance, but I also don't hate it. It's kind of middle of the road to me. Sometimes I smell it and I'm like, ooh, I really like it. And sometimes I smell it, I'm like, what is this fragrance? Like, what are they trying to do with this one? More often than not, it's the latter, but there is specific moments where I'm into this scent and I do like smelling it. It's got this really strange blend of like a bright, juicy peach mixed with like florals, like a jasmine, and then it has like a base of like a perfumey patchouli note. It's also got like a little bit of like an apple in there as well. You can definitely smell like a juicy, bright apple in the background. But yeah, this is one that I don't really think very much of. When I got it the first year in the large 1-wick jar format, I did really enjoy it. Last year, I repurchased it in the 2-wick signature tumbler because I was hoping that this would perform a little bit better. I burned it a couple of times last year, and I remember this one being absolutely scentless. It's back again this year in the 2-wick tumbler, so I guess it must be doing decently well. Maybe they fixed the scent issues on it for this year, but I kind of doubt it knowing Yankee Candle. I'm going to try burning this one again this year to see if it has improved in strength over sitting for a year. But yeah, I don't really have very much strong things to say about this one. It's very middle of the road for me. You guys might like it more than I do. It smells a little bit too bright to really be a spooky Halloween fragrance, but there is that patchouli base that does give it a little bit of spookiness. So yeah, let me know if you guys actually enjoy this one, because I don't really see very many people talk about this one, and I kind of understand why. All right, we're very slowly nearing the end of this haul, but up next I have Spooky Spider Cider. And also, I don't think I've mentioned it in this video, but every single one of these 2-wick tumblers with these wraparound labels, I think these are so pretty. They all have a very specific, nice, fun Halloween vibe that I absolutely love. So this one is another repurchase of mine from the Halloween collection. I can't remember if this was new 2 years ago, but I bought it for the first time last year, and I absolutely loved this one. Now, this one is kind of strange because it's called Spooky Spider Cider, and now having Ciderhouse with me, it's even that much more strange because this isn't really an apple cider fragrance to me. This one has a very distinct bakery note in it. You definitely get an apple, you definitely get those mulling spices in there, like the cinnamon, clove, nutmeg, they're definitely all in there. But then you get like a baked bread or like a muffin type scent. It's definitely more of like an apple cider muffin or like apple cider donut. But even saying like apple cider donut isn't right because it's not like a dough type scent. It's definitely like a breadiness. There's like 100% a yeasty vibe to this. But yeah, this is another one of those Halloween gourmand candles that I actually really love. I did purchase a couple of these this year because I wanted one for a backup. And I do remember this one performing decently well last year in this format. It was like a 5 or a 6 strength in my room, if I can remember correctly. And I remember it being pretty heavy too. Like, this is a very heavy bakery scent. Definitely one that you're going to want to avoid burning when it is like super hot outside. But yeah, if you're into a nice apple bakery gourmand candle, definitely try this one out. All right, so second to last here, we have the only new for 2023 Halloween scent that I picked up, and that is Blood Orange Pumpkin. Now, this one I had a little bit of beef with because I assumed that this one was going to replace Jack-o'-lantern. I was so sure that this one was going to replace Jack-o'-lantern because it had the orange wax in the 2-wick tumblers. It had the Jack-o'-lanterns on there. We had no news about it, and I just assumed like, hey, this is its replacement. And I did make it into stores a couple weeks ago before the Halloween launch, and I smelled the 3-wick version of this, and I thought it was fine, but it was no Jack-o'-lantern, so I wasn't going to overly say it was great or anything. So yeah, I kind of had a little bit of a disdain for this one outright. But when I saw that Jack-o'-lantern was back and I had to fill out my buy 3 get 3 free order, I remembered that this one wasn't too bad, so I was like, hey, you know what, I'll actually give it a fair shot. And now that I have it here and I have been able to sit with it and smell it and really get my thoughts together on it, I actually really enjoy it. So this is definitely an interesting direction to take a Halloween fragrance. You get the pumpkin, you get the clove, you get the cinnamon in there, but then you get this really nice bright orange fragrance in there. And honestly, I did not think that orange and pumpkin would be a very good combo, but smelling it in here, I think it works actually really, really well. I mean, if you think about it, orange and clove and cinnamon are already kind of like a Christmas thing. So that scent profile does work. And honestly, it kind of leads this into being kind of a Christmassy type fragrance, but the pumpkin note definitely prevents it from becoming a full-on Christmas scent. This one also does have a kind of drinkable quality to it as well. It's a little bit juicy, and I definitely could see this being marketed as like a pumpkin apple cider or something, or I guess technically a pumpkin orange cider if that exists out there. I'm sure it does somewhere. And there's also like a nice whipped cream type note in here, so it's like almost like a pumpkin orange drink with a little bit of like whipped cream topping on there. It's actually pretty nice. On cold, I don't absolutely love it or anything, but I definitely think I'm gonna enjoy this one while burning if it performs well. And to be fair, this is definitely better than that banana toffee whatever candle that they threw in the Halloween line this year. I smelled that one in the 3-wick, and that one was just absolutely terrible. It had like an artificial Runts banana with like peanuts and chocolate. I did not like that one at all. I do not know what they were thinking with that. While this isn't the most absolutely Halloween fragrance of all time, that one is like 20 times as much not so. That was probably the weirdest wording of all time, but those are my thoughts on the blood orange pumpkin. All right, so last but certainly not least, we have jack-o'-lantern. I am so happy that this returned this year. I was so scared that I was not going to be able to burn this one this season. Honestly, I don't even know what it is about this one that I love so much. I've seen many people just kind of throw this one aside and be like, oh, it's just a pumpkin spice scent. It's just your basic, you know, pumpkin spice candle. But I do not agree with that at all. This one has layers to it, let me tell you. Yeah, this one is so addicting. It's got the pumpkin, it's got the cinnamon, it's got the spices. Everything that you could want from a pumpkin spice scent, but then it goes in like a different direction. There's something a little bit spicy in here as well, and it almost leans a little bit savory too. There's a nice ginger in this one. There's also like a black tea note, and I wonder if that's what contributes it to leaning into like that savoriness. It's also very nutmeg heavy. There's a lot of nutmeg in this candle, which I love. They also list like a carrot note. There's a lot of things happening in this one, but this to me smells extremely nostalgic. This definitely reminds me of some sort of dish that like my mom used to make for dinner. There is a specific scent memory associated with the smell of this, but to really boil down to what I absolutely love about this one, it's just got like a sweet and spicy note that's super addicting, and you don't really get that with a lot of pumpkin spice scents. Most of the time they're like overbearingly spicy or they're overbearingly sweet for some reason, but taking your pumpkin spice scent into like a savory direction definitely makes it very unique. So yeah, if you want a pumpkin spice scent that's a little bit different from all the rest, I could not recommend this one enough. All right, so that is all I have for you guys today. Overall, I am really happy with all of the new scents that I received from Yankee. On cold, there's nothing that I purchased this year that I absolutely hated, and I actually got some that I really love on cold. Now, obviously, this is Yankee Candle we're talking about, so on cold isn't really that much of a sell. So I'm definitely hoping to getting to burning these very soon, and I will hopefully have some post-burn reviews or post-burn thoughts on these sometime in the future. I am really hoping that these do well because I actually very much enjoy a lot of the scents that I received. But let me know what you guys love from Yankee Candle, or what you guys are indifferent or you hate from Yankee Candle. You know I love hearing your guys' recommendations for certain companies, so leave that down in the comments below. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed this video, and subscribe for more candle content because I always have more on the way very soon. Until the next one, I'll see you guys later. Bye.